Finding an ancient artifact is always thrilling, but it's arguably even more amazing when it comes wrapped in mystery. We can't expect to understand everything about an artifact just by looking at it, but with a bit of research and informed insight, we can usually piece things together. That's not always the case, though. Some ancient artifacts hold on to their secrets no matter how hard we study them, and in this video you're about to see a whole collection of those exact relics. Number 15. Dacian Bronze Matrix. What exactly are we supposed to make of the hexagon-shaped bronze matrix found in Sarmi's Get Usa Regia, Romania in 2013? Well, nobody's really sure. Historians have studied this object for years, and they're still no closer to figuring it out. They estimate it's around 2,000 years old and was discovered tangled in the roots of a tree that fell during a storm. No similar artifact has ever been recovered in Europe, let alone Romania. The most popular theory is that it came from a Dacian workshop and was used as a mold to create their famous gold jewelry. That jewelry is what the Dacians are most well known for, but if this matrix was used to make it, why haven't we found another? Each of the matrix's 6 sides shows a different scene, some with mythological creatures from Mediterranean folklore, others with real animals like rhinos, lions, bears, wolves, and rabbits. If this was their jewelry-making tool, was there really just one? Number 14. The Shepherd Sits Monument. This monument at Shugborough Hall in England is more than just a piece of 18th century art. It's one of the country's most persistent historical puzzles. Sculpted by Peter Shoemakers in 1763, the monument reinterprets the painting The Shepherds of Arcadia, but adds something extra, a cryptic 10-letter inscription that has never been decoded. The letters, Uosvav, appear above a second line with the letters D and M. They're not Roman numerals, and if it's an acronym, nobody has ever cracked its meaning. Shoemakers never revealed its purpose, and he died without offering a clue. The mystery became so notorious that even Charles Dickens spent weeks trying to solve it without success. Most researchers believe the letters encode a hidden message from Shoemakers, but without a key, its meaning remains blocked. Some think the artist intended it as a riddle that would remain forever unsolved. If that's true, then he succeeded, and he's likely grinning from beyond the grave at every failed attempt to crack his silent code. Number 13. Ostrich Fan of Tutankhamun. Among the countless items removed from Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter, one often gets ignored: his elaborate ostrich feather fan. The fan, which measures 3 feet in length, was crafted from wood, coated in gold, and ends in a papyrus design. It originally featured 30 brown and white ostrich feathers. What makes it weird is the engraved message claiming the ostrich used for the feathers was personally hunted down by the young pharaoh. A scene embossed on the fan even shows the supposed hunt. While royal hunting wasn't unusual in ancient Egypt, it directly clashes with what we know about Tut's health. Repeated analysis of his remains suggests he had several physical impairments, including a clubfoot, and likely walked with the help of a cane. Some researchers also believe he suffered from scoliosis and craniosynostosis, so either the medical conclusions are wrong or the fan's story is royal propaganda. Well, either way, the fan doesn't match the image of a frail king. It's a mystery. Number 12. Sheila Nagig. Thousands of years ago, people in Ireland had a strange artistic tradition, creating stone figures of women displaying their genitals. These carvings are called Sheila Nagigs, and their purpose is still debated. Over 100 have been found across the country, mostly in medieval sites like churches, wells, and tower houses. For a long time, scholars thought they were warnings against lust, but recent views suggest something else entirely. Some researchers now believe they may represent the Cailleach, a figure in Irish mythology also known as the hag or the old woman, associated with cycles of fertility and rebirth. Rather than symbols of sin, they could be ancient markers of life's beginning and end. Another theory, though less widely accepted, suggests they may be named after Sheila, the supposed wife of St. Patrick. That idea lacks solid proof, but it adds to the mystery. Whether these carvings were warnings, blessings, or ancient folklore in stone, no one can say for certain. but what I can say for sure is that they look weird. Number 1, ancient stone maps. In 2016, archaeologists working on the Danish island of Bornholm found 10 unusual stones buried beneath an ancient earthwork enclosure. These weren't just broken rocks, they had been deliberately fractured and each one etched with meticulously carved lines. The patterns weren't random either. Some researchers believe they represent territory boundaries, suggesting that the stones may have functioned as rudimentary maps. If this theory holds, they could represent the oldest known maps in the world. Others argue the lines were symbolic, possibly related to ritual practices or religious beliefs. The stones are estimated to be roughly 5,000 years old. A third theory merges both ideas. Perhaps the lines did mark landscapes, and smashing the stones was part of a ceremonial offering meant to bring blessings or ensure good harvests. We already know that a sun-worshipping culture lived on the island during this period, so it's not hard to imagine these people treating the stones as sacred. Whatever their true purpose, they clearly held meaning far beyond decoration or utility. What do you think about it? Number 10. Pharaoh and Gods etched in Egypt Sips Quarry. Archaeologists working at Gebel el-Silsila, which is around 40 miles north of Aswan, have unearthed a 2500-year-old wall carving depicting a mysterious pharaoh alongside two gods, Amun-Ra and Thoth. What makes this so unusual is that these two deities are rarely seen together, making the relief something of an anomaly. The scene, carved into sandstone, measures 18 by 13 inches and shows the pharaoh offering a gift to the gods, though what's being offered remains uncertain. Researchers believe the pairing might be linked to a lunar cult or a specific ritual context. Nearby, the team also uncovered two massive sandstone obelisks that were abandoned mid-quarry due to visible fractures. The most striking detail was a rare scene depicting the obelisks being carved and readied for river transport, possibly dating to the reign of Hatshepsut, Egypt's famed female pharaoh. While many discoveries at Silsila have been tied to royal construction, this one offers a glimpse into unfinished ambitions and unexplained religious alignments etched into stone and left behind in the middle of nowhere. Number 9. Gypsy Girl Mosaic. Controversy follows the Gypsy Girl Mosaic, a hauntingly beautiful artwork that's now finally whole again, but only after decades of confusion and theft. According to official records, the mosaic was unearthed in 1998 beneath an ancient column in the city of Sogma, but that's only part of the story. Residents reportedly knew about its existence as far back as the 1960s, and many fragments had already been stolen during unauthorized digs. Those stolen pieces turned up years later at Bowling Green State University in Ohio and were only returned to Turkey in 2018 after long negotiations. With the recovered sections now reunited, the mosaic is once again on display, but experts remain uncertain whether all the pieces are original. Not every tile that was removed has been located, and there's a strong chance that some visible parts are modern replacements. Still, seeing the Gypsy Girl in her near-original form is a rare privilege, even if some pieces carry newer fingerprints. Authentic or not, the final image still leaves an unforgettable impression. Number 8. Celtic Chariot Burial unearthed in Wales. In 2018, a metal detectorist named Mike Smith changed Welsh archaeological history forever when he found what turned out to be a Celtic chariot burial in a field in Pembrokeshire. These burials, where an individual was interred alongside their chariot horses and weapons, were previously unknown in Wales, having only been found in parts of Scotland and England. Smith's find included iron fittings, ornamental pieces, and skeletal remains suggesting a person of high status, likely a Celtic chief or noble. Other archaeologists initially brushed off the discovery, doubting its authenticity, but later digs confirmed it. The burial is estimated to date back about 2,500 years to the Iron Age. Its presence in Wales challenges prior assumptions that Celtic cultural influence was limited in this region. Now scholars are rethinking the scope of Celtic identity across the British Isles. The site is not only a first for Wales, but also a rare glimpse into elite Iron Age funerary practices, where prestige didn't end with life, but rode with you into the afterlife. Number 7. Littlefoot Skeleton. You've probably heard of Bigfoot, but have you ever come across Littlefoot? That's the nickname given to a remarkably preserved hominin skeleton found in South Africa during the late 1990s. At an estimated 3.67 million years old, Littlefoot represents a previously unknown species in our evolutionary chain. She walked upright, stood just over 4 feet tall, and lived with a damaged left arm, an injury she sustained as a child and carried for life. The excavation and research took over 2 decades, finally wrapping up in 2018. One reason for the delay was the condition of her bones, delicate and deeply embedded in harder rock inside the Sterkfontein caves. Researchers believe she died after falling into the cave, and her bones gradually lost their minerals over time, becoming nearly paper thin. Despite their fragility, the remains have provided rare insight into early human ancestors. Her exact place in our lineage is still up for debate. Number 6. Ancient Scroll of Cave of Horror. The Cave of Horror earned its grim nickname due to a few ancient skeletons discovered inside, but one of the most important finds wasn't human remains, it was a fragmented parchment scroll. Found in March 2021, the scroll is rare and delicate, torn into multiple sections, but still legible enough to reveal something remarkable. The writing is in ancient Greek, except for the name of God, which is in Hebrew. Scholars believe the scroll might have been hidden by Jewish rebels from the 2nd century during their failed revolt against Roman occupation. Alongside divine references, the scroll includes excerpts from the books of Zechariah and Nahum, part of the 12 minor prophets. Greek had been imposed as the dominant language in Judea after Alexander the Great's conquest over 2 millennia ago, which explains its presence here. What remains shocking is how anyone managed to reach the cave in ancient times. It lies 260 feet below a cliff edge and can now only be reached by rappelling down with modern gear. Number 5. Byzantine-era Jewish treasure. Let's go to Jerusalem, where a once-in-a-lifetime discovery emerged in 2013 near the southern wall of the Temple Mount. Buried beneath centuries of rubble was the awful treasure: 36 Byzantine gold coins, silver and gold jewelry, and a medallion etched with a detailed menorah. The cache dates to the 7th century, and archaeologists believe it was hidden during the Persian invasion of Jerusalem in 614 CE. Whoever buried it, possibly in a rush, clearly intended to return but never got the chance. Another theory suggests the treasure was meant for a nearby synagogue construction project that never reached completion. Adding to the mystery is the large time gap between the oldest and newest coins, spanning over 300 years. Why that range exists remains unsolved. Was it a family heirloom passed down through generations, or the contents of a larger communal treasury? Either way, the awful treasure isn't just a glittering relic, it's a silent witness to a city caught between faith, war, and the desperate hope of survival. Number 4. Singapore Stone. Singapore's recorded history may begin with Sir Stamford Raffles' arrival in 1819, but human life on the island stretches much further back. Before the British, there was the ancient Kingdom of Singapore, founded in 1299, and even before that came the mystery of the Singapore Stone. The fragment is 4 feet tall and covered in indecipherable symbols. It's thought to be the last surviving piece of a much larger stele that once stood at the mouth of the Singapore River. Unfortunately, the original monument was destroyed in 1843 during a British engineering project aimed at widening the river's entrance. The surviving chunk was recovered afterward, but the rest vanished. Dating the stone precisely is difficult, but experts believe it was carved in the 10th century. Its markings don't match any known language. Without similar inscriptions to compare, translation is impossible. The Singapore Stone remains mute, an ancient message carved into rock that may have once explained everything, but now only adds another layer to the island's lost past. Number 3. Oldest Hebrew mention of Jerusalem on papyrus. A rare papyrus dating back roughly 2,700 years has surfaced bearing what is believed to be the earliest known reference to Jerusalem written in Hebrew. The small fragment, only 4.3 by 1 inches, was intercepted by the Israel Antiquities Authority during a sting operation in 2012. Rather than being written on clay or cheap material, it was penned on papyrus, indicating that the message carried weight. It reads as a delivery note, 2 wineskins were being sent to Jerusalem from an area near Jericho. The sender, a royal female servant, making this one of the few surviving pieces of ancient administrative correspondence from a lady. The document predates the Dead Sea Scrolls by centuries. Its spelling of Jerusalem matches what's found in the Hebrew Bible, further confirming its authenticity. Experts believe the papyrus was looted from a Judean desert cave, but it survived thanks to the arid climate. So while most ancient notes go missing forever, this one made it through history and bureaucracy and lived to be read again. Number 2. Lead Curse Tablet. Back in the 1950s, archaeologists unearthed a strange lead tablet while exploring the ruins of a theater in Caesarea Maritima, Israel. They estimated it was around 1,500 years old, but its cryptic message stayed undeciphered for decades. In 2019, researchers finally claimed to have translated it, and what they found wasn't exactly friendly. The inscription was a curse, targeting a dancer named Mana. According to the translation, the writer hoped to summon demons to cripple Mana, bind his hands and feet, blind him, and ruin his ability to dance. Even the ancient Egyptian god Thoth, known for magic and wisdom, was invoked for help. The writer's motivation seems to have been jealousy, perhaps from a rival performer. While Christianity had already taken hold in the region at that time, the text proves that dark beliefs and magical rituals still thrive beneath the surface. Whether or not the curse had any effect, it speaks to a side of ancient society where bitterness and superstition mixed freely with religion and art. Number 1. The mysterious Ziwi Horde. This horde sits right on the line between priceless treasure and clever deception. Whether it's a remarkable ancient discovery or a collection of fakes remains hotly debated, and believers on both sides refuse to budge. The hoard itself is a dazzling mix of ivory, gold, and silver artifacts carved in various distinct styles. Official accounts say it was found near Ziwi, close to Sakaz in Iran, in 1947. But there are problems. First, the items show 3 artistic influences, Scythian, Mesopotamian, and Persian, making it difficult to believe they were all uncovered together. Second, the supposed discovery site was never examined by archaeologists. In fact, the exact location is still unknown. Local villagers reportedly sold the items after uncovering them, making it nearly impossible to verify which pieces were part of the original find. Some experts now believe parts of the hoard may be genuine, while others were added later to inflate its value. Or maybe the entire thing was never real at all, just an expertly arranged assembly of black market antiquities. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.